Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Welcome to Beyond the Scale. It's a podcast where we explore the essential role of life coaching in the world of nutrition coaching. I'm Coach Monica. I'm your host, joined by my co-host, Coach Darcy.
Hi.
Hey, Darcy. Together, you and I are going to dive into a really fun topic, and we're going to kind of go under the hood a little bit and kind of give some of our tips and things that we do in our coaching session that we may or may not even know we do. Funny story. So as we were show prepping, Coach Darcy says, hey, Coach, why don't we talk about life coaching and how we use this in our everyday coaching? And disclaimer, I was tired. I was really tired. It was at the end of the day. I had already left my office. I was kind of annoyed that I had to go back into my office. And I texted her back and I said, well, give me some tips. What is life coaching? And it made her panic a little bit because both Coach Darcy and myself are also, along with ketogenic certificated. Certificated.
I can't even say that.
This show's going to be funny today.
It is.
So not only are we ketogenic certified, but I am also a licensed food addiction. So we have all these titles, right?
Yes.
And we are also both life coaches. And I panicked a little bit. I'm like, oh, give me some tips. And she's like, are you serious? And so when I get to my office and I pull out my life coaching notes, I'm like, Darcy, we do this every day in our coaching sessions. Like, this is what we live, eat, and breathe.
That's where the palm smacked the forehead of, really?
Welcome to life coaching. I thought it was this big ornate because people, they have businesses and they're life coaches. I'm like, what is that? Oh, we do it every day.
Yeah.
So 10% of what we do is calories and nutrition. 90% is life coaching. And so we're going to talk about how the life coaching skills help us in our coaching that we do every single day. We coach Monday through my schedule is Monday through Thursday, about 8 to 5 for sure. Mm-hmm. And then Mondays, I don't leave the office until about 9. And so we spend half of our life coaching people. And so we're going to talk about the skills that we use. And I'm going to practice on you with one of the techniques that we do. And we're going to have you get out a pen and the paper. This is hands-on today. So we can first of all talk about the difference though between life coaching versus therapy. We are not doctors. We don't play one on the internet. We are not therapists. We don't play one of those on the internet either. And so there are different jobs of a life coach versus therapy. We need both, quite frankly. As I was doing some study for this, I'm like, we need both. I send my clients to therapists because we've got to unpackage some stuff that I am not able to do. So the first thing is regulations. There's different regulations for therapists versus life coaches. Okay, so in the big world of things, we've got psychologists, we've got the highest level of psychology. Then we've got the LMHC, the licensed mental health counselors. They go to school, the doctorates, all of those things. That is not us. Life coaching is, I like to think of it this way. Life coaching is present and future oriented. Okay. So we don't go in the past with our clients. It's present and future. So we do things like we change thinking. of our clients. We change the limited belief systems that they have. We reframe experiences with them. We increase their motivation, those kinds of things. Whereas therapy is they deal with the past and present and future as well, but they treat mental health illness. They treat trauma based based things. They cope with tragedy and loss and those kinds of things. Right? Does that make sense, Darcy?
Yeah. Would it make sense to say that we're kind of like Santa's little helpers in a way
Yeah, I like
of
that.
therapists and counselors, of
Mm-hmm.
encouraging these clients to use these tools that they are using in those settings, the therapy and
Mm-hmm.
counseling, and we're encouraging them to actually practice that. We're a
Yeah.
coach that basically is their accountability partner to
Right.
practice those things and put them
They
to
walk with
practice.
them. They walk with
Yes,
them in the pit, right? Yeah, that is
yes.
so good. That is so good. Definitely.
I don't know
And
why
the
Santa's
really
little helpers came up.
yeah.
That was
Well, no,
just
it's
my
true. I'm a good
we're not
picture
elves.
person. No, no, we're not. We're not.
Anyway.
But it's so true though, because and sometimes that's the hard work, and the really great thing, I have several therapists that I work with clients where I will tell the client, hey, I need you to run this past your therapist, and I will listen to his direction. And so therapists and life coach really go hand in hand together. That was the best training. I don't know about you. That was the best training I ever had when we took the Transformational Academy. That's where we went.
When I was taking this course, I was like, okay, who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for our clients, or am I
Or
doing this for
myself.
myself?
So true, because the activity
Yes.
today that we're going to do together, when I was preparing last night, I'm like, oh, I have bought into so many lies. I could use this. And so, yeah, it's really, really, really cool. Darcy, can you talk about some of the tools? We are only scratching the surface, and like I said, some of these things we do without even knowing that we're doing it, because we've learned some of these skills and these listening skills. We do some of these things without even knowing we're doing it. So
Mhm.
why don't you talk about just a couple of the tools that we use in our nutrition coaching that we bring in our life coaching
Yeah.
skills?
Yeah. So the first one I love to use, and this is after I hear the client talking about their schedule's so busy, or there is, some traumatic thing happening in their family that they're just super stressed about. And most of it kind of derives from stress, when they're overly stressed about having to, shuttle their kids around from places, or all of these things that happen. These feelings start to fill their minds, and they get overwhelmed and stressed, and they can't function. They can't focus on the prize of working on their weight goal. Um, and so I like to bring up, okay, let's talk about what you are able to control in the situation. We talk about this. It's called the lotus of control, or
Yes,
circle
lotus
of
of
control.
control. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
or
true. I read
circle of
that.
control.
Hmm.
Those two go hand in hand. Where it's kind of like a bullseye target, and you are starting on the outside of the situation. Like, okay, what is happening around you? What are the things that are going on? And how much of that can you control? So it comes down to it. And then like we said, we're just scratching the surface. We talk about each part of the things that you can control in that situation. And it comes down to, you know, in your own personal help and participation in this situation. It comes down to, you can be encouraging, you can say encouraging things. If it's not affecting you other than that, like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Not
You
my
sometimes
circus, not my monkeys, is what I like to say.
exactly right. When you are adopting those circus monkeys as your own, you're just adding extra stress. You're adding
Hmm.
these problems, which in your mind, I like to. My other thing is, since we were talking, we're going to be talking about journaling here, but
Oh
I like
no.
to talk. I like to have my clients imagine their brains, and maybe one topic that they are mad about, maybe that their spouse did, something that made them really angry, and they think about it over and over and over and over. They're overthinking this process. And as they're overthinking this process, it's like a tumbleweed, where that tumbleweed is
Mm-hmm.
being blown in the desert, and it starts to pick other stuff
Bigger and
up
bigger. Yeah.
and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And when it started from this tiny little thing that your husband did,
Mm-hmm.
it easily grows. And this happened to me last night. Mark did something.
Mark.
And then I
Mark,
started
come
thinking and
on.
thinking, and then I was mad about it. And then it's just the fact that we like to pick extra things up in one little topic, that where it starts, one little seed. And that's usually
Which,
with the circle of control kind of points out, like, oh,
yeah.
well, it came down to this little thing, maybe my husband was chewing with his mouth open. It just started
Mm-hmm.
there. And that he didn't respect me enough to chew with his mouth
Mm-hmm.
shut. This didn't happen, by the way. This is a made up thing. This was not why I was mad at him. But it just starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you
Yeah.
bring out all of the junk closet stuff into
Which
this
leads to
pile.
binging. That for our
Yes.
clients, these things, this little thing leads to a binge cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does.
It kind of wraps that big ball of mess. You wrap it up thinking you're going to feel better with a big binge cycle, and that's when the sugar
Yeah.
comes out. That's when all of those things come out. So if you teach a client how to stop it when it's at the pinpoint, you
Yeah.
mentioned something about a circle, like if you imagine with us a target, like a bullseye target. That's kind of how that's the exercise that I lead my clients through. Is
Yeah.
closest to the center of that nucleus is yourself, right?
Yes. Yes.
You have the control over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude, right? So on
Yep.
the inside, the bullseye of that target, that's what you have control over.
Yes.
You may have control over your kids, right? As the circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you know where people are flipping out right now? Right now, this is the stage of our life where we're going to see an eclipse next week, right?
Right.
People have lost their ever-loving minds. In the circle of control, that eclipse, literally, you have no impact
No
over
control.
that.
Yeah.
And you're flipping out.
Yeah.
People are literally losing their minds on TikTok right now.
Right.
Politics.
Right. They are.
Politics, you have no control over what's happening in Washington right now. Literally no control. You have influence. So we like to use the term circle of influence, circle of control, circle of influence, and then the things you have no control over. You don't have any control over the
Absolutely.
weather. Massive earthquake in Japan right now. You have no control over that, right?
Right.
Politics,
Right.
you have some influence. Your Facebook page, you have some influence, right? You
Mhm.
choose how you influence, but you don't
Yep.
have control over other people's minds. So let it go. So I love that. I love that activity you do with your clients because you let them off the hook because we think we have to worry about everything. I do. I think I have to worry about everything.
Yeah.
The
It's
fate of the
easy,
world.
too.
Yes. The
It's
fate
like
of the world.
it's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
So we release them. We release
But-
them from that control.
And this is a great opportunity for those that, and I said I was going to bring it up again.
Uh-huh.
The whole journaling thing.
Yeah. Oh.
People loathe when I say journal. Let's journal. They're like,
No.
no, I don't like writing. I don't like taking the time, and it's like a schoolgirl or a schoolboy writing in their diary, "Dear diary." Like,
I know.
no. Here's the thing: this is how that tumbleweed in your head that's starting to build up, and the things that you have made that tumbleweed to contain
Mhm.
is now being placed outside of your head onto a piece of paper, so then you
Mhm.
can visually see it. You can't see what's going on in your
Right.
head. You might
Right.
think you can, but you physically cannot see all the things individually that's
Mhm.
causing you so much pain, so much frustration, so much anxiety, so much
Right.
overthinking, all these things. So when I say, when you journal, do these activities that we share with you.
Mhm.
I always encourage my kids, my clients, to think of it as a biography about themselves too.
Mhm.
Like, we don't deal with the past, but I encourage my clients to write about their past,
Mhm.
because then those are some
It's
things
connected.
that and they connect. They get it out of their head. They were like, oh yeah, that's where that
Yeah.
started.
Well, your belief systems are created from the past.
Yeah.
So you can't get around that.
Right.
You
So
can't for sure.
when we talk about the rest of these, I want to encourage you to think about adding these into a journal
Hmm.
and to write it down, get it out of your head, and just start from there. And then it's going to, trust me, it's going to start uh, being like, oh, yeah, I didn't journal today. I'm going to do it today. Because you
Right,
actually
right,
enjoy doing it.
right.
So,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
that's my hope for you.
Yeah. We'll do that,
That's my
Darcy.
hope for you, Monica.
We'll do that. We'll do that. My journal is very scary. And listen, it's okay to burn your journal.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I would encourage it. I would encourage you to probably burn your journal after, because there's things that my kids don't need to know that's in this
Oh,
head of mine.
I'm okay with my kids finding every nitty gritty thing.
I watched my dad read his mom's journal, and I oppose keeping them alive.
That's
If
true.
they need to.
I mean,
If they need to.
that's true.
Oh, so one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite activities, and I use this a lot because people come to us as diet coaches thinking that they have to be miserable. They have to be miserable because they can't have stuff anymore. They
Yeah.
can't have the things that they used to have anymore. And so they are just really, really sad. And what they're saying is true because we have what's called in our minds a memory pathway. Those memory pathways are very, very strong. They're connected to the dopamine, they're connected to serotonin, they're connected to all of our past. So, for example, I remember I don't even have to be to go into my grandmother's house without having a physical reaction to walking into her back porch. I smell it, I sense it, I taste it, I know. I live that moment again, right? That's called a
Yeah.
memory pathway. So what we encourage our clients to do, if you're changing your life, we're changing it forever, right? I can't go back and have donuts anymore, you know? And so I have to remove what's called an anchor point. An anchor point is what I just talked about with my grandmother's house. It is something that connects my memory pathway to an emotional experience which was going into her house. So when let's say Thanksgiving is coming up, and I have to mourn that when I go to my grandmother's house, I cannot have her amazing. I'm going to switch it to my grandpa's oyster crackers. Okay, that is connected in my mind with her front porch or her back porch to Thanksgiving table. I can picture my mind as I walk into her back. First, I smell the mothballs from the back porch where she had the badminton stored. I smell that, and then I walk into her back entry area. To the left, I go over and I see the glass bowl filled with my grandpa's ranch oyster crackers. I can't eat that anymore, right? Because I've chosen to change my lifestyle. So I have had to, and this is what we encourage our clients to do, reconnect, repath those memory pathways. So instead of going into my grandpa's house and eating that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that there is something absolutely yummy. And I'm associating this with food. You can associate them with experiences as well. But I'm going to associate mine with food. So I have had to make sure that when we go to Thanksgiving, I need to recreate a new memory pathway, and I'm going to use anchoring to do so. All right. So when I go to my grandma's house, and since you can't see me, I'm going to try to explain it verbally and let me know, Darcy, maybe close your eyes and let me know if I'm not doing it correctly.
Right.
So to recreate a new memory pathway, you have something that you enjoy. Take it to your family reunion, right? Take this. Let's use a strawberry pie, a keto strawberry pie. Okay. I want to replace the oyster crackers with a new memory pathway that I'm going to bring no, I'm not going to do strawberry pie. I'm going to do your keto eclairs.
It's like, when did that change? Because you always use that
Keto
one.
eclairs. So I am going to I'm going to replace those things that I can't have anymore, I choose not to have anymore, with this new keto eclair that Darcy makes. They're amazing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill my plate. I'm going to put one of those on my plate. And this is a physical thing I do. And you may feel a little funny at first, but I'm telling you it works. You have different parts of your body that are extra sensitive. So like your knuckles, right now I am like squeezing between that place between my index finger and my thumb. You know, that meaty part there, right? So that's what I am using to anchor. So when I take a bite of that keto eclair, you know, when the sensation is like, oh my gosh, this is good. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, this is good. I am going to squeeze the inside, and you can do this. You can tap your knee, you can tap your knuckles, wherever it makes an impact to you. For me, I squeeze the inside of that meaty area in my hand. And when that sensation of, oh my gosh, this is yummy, I'm going to squeeze right there. And then immediately let go the minute that sensation goes away. Every time I take a bite, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, this is good. I'm going to squeeze the inside of my thumb, and I'm going to let it go right before that sensation goes away. What you're physically doing to your body, this isn't weird stuff. This is stuff that your body connects those senses to. Your body will reconnect your grandma's house. In fact, for us, it's the Thanksgiving that we go to. So, but they're still the same, right? So. Yeah. You are reconnecting those memory pathways and creating new ones. So you want to erase the old ones and recreate the new ones. Now, it is possible for you to unanchor something. And basically, when you unanchor something, so let's say that I wanted to break those oyster cracker sensations. I want to break that memory, right? So I'm rebuilding new ones with new memories, the new lifestyle we have. But I'm going to break the old ones by doing the opposite. So instead of going to Grampy's house and going to those oyster cracker areas, I'm going to come in the front door instead. I'm going to do something completely opposite. Or if something's tempting me in the house, I'm going to break that anchor by going outside, maybe possibly in the cold or the heat, and I'm going to count to 10. So you can also do reverse anchoring and unanchor those things. Those things, as weird as they sound, they really work. That's why I never send a client, unless we are completely detoxing, I never send a client to an event without a yummy item. In fact, in our group on Monday, we have a mama who's marrying off her daughter. And I said, listen, you do not go to that wedding without a keto cake. And I understand that that's an extra step you have to do, but I want you to connect memory pathways. Those are emotional things, and connect those things. So I love the circle of control. I love anchoring. And those are just two of the tools that we use. And how do we do that? Let's talk about this next one. How do we know what a client needs? Client doesn't always need anchoring, doesn't always need the circle control. How do they know when we pull a tool out of our belt? How is it that we know that what they need?
Right. So what we do is we are active listening. We are not trying to solve their world problems. We are listening to the things that they are expressing, like what they were feeling when they were on vacation and they wanted to participate in this, fill in the blank. So we are active listening, and then we are reflective on this. So we say, well, what I hear is this: you missed out on the traditions that you have created in the past. That's where the whole, where you can actually use the tools that we are sharing of how to reverse those by, making new memory pathways. And then we encourage them to do that. So then we are empathetic with them. We understand that these things are hard. But we also want them to be able to, switch over to healing in a new way. So what do you have to say on that one?
Yeah. So what you said was so true. So when we put our listening skills on and we're actively listening, a client could have some sort of, oh my gosh, I failed, or I accidentally did this, or I did something like that, but I learned from it. And so they'll be talking about a situation that they had, and then they'll go on to the next subject. I am actively listening, reflecting on that, and I am not going to let them out of that box. I'm going to say, you know what? I want to go back to when you said this. I want to go back there and I want to process that with you. I want to reframe that with you. It could be something that they really did not cheat and they're blaming themselves for cheating.
Yeah.
And I want to go back there and I want to talk about your feelings during that time. And then we're able to verbalize, or they're able to verbalize with us, oh, well, that wasn't really so bad at all. Or next time I would have done it differently. Active listening is 70% listening and 30% questioning. So my mouth has to be quiet most of our sessions, which is really hard for me.
Right.
Because I want to fix them, right?
Right.
We can't.
Right. But we have to discern when to actually put our coach's hat on and when to not put our coach's hat on. Like to do most of that listening, but then some of those sessions, you can actually put your coach's hat on, being like, okay, you keep saying these things, but you're not taking action. You want to fix this. You see the problem, but you keep going backwards. So we have to bring, I don't necessarily want to call it a negative coaching hat, but it's more of like a realization. We don't sugarcoat things.
No, we don't
sugarcoat it.
We have to uncover the lies that our clients have believed about themselves, which is the next point in there. And that's some of the tools that we have. And we're not going to give you all the tools of the trade. Otherwise, we put ourselves out of a job, right? No.
I know.
But it would take forever to go through each and every one of these examples. But most of our clients have lies that they've believed about themselves for years and years. And so active listening requires us to uncover those lies and to make the client verbalize those things.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. And it definitely prevents them from self-sabotaging and then having that guilt and the things that they're so used to with the other yo-yo diets, the discipline that they feel like they failed. And we don't want to go that route. We're building a new lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, a positive one. And we're going to help you through those old habits, those old feelings.
Yeah.
That's why I think the fasting comes to mind when I think about what clients tend to do when they have, had a bad weekend. And then they go and abuse the fasting and starve themselves because, since I had this bad weekend, this is what I'm going to do. So that's what we tend to do, and we want to prevent them from seeing that as a negative.
Yeah. Right. A good coach has communication skills, listening skills, and questioning skills. Sometimes all we have to do is ask a question of our client, and they will solve their own problem.
Yeah.
That is a win for us when we have been able to have the client coax their own solution out of their mouth. That's one of the things that I look for as I hire coaches, is I want to know, does this coach have a good communication skills or are they talking too much? Right.
Right.
In fact, I've been, one of the best things, one of the most painful things that I've ever done as a coach is when I contract for a doctor, and I do all of her nutrition coaching, and I had to record my sessions with her patients, and I had to go through an audit kind of, I had to go through some pain, and they watched my coaching and they gave me feedback, and it was painful. They were like, Monica, you're talking too much. You're talking too much. And I'm like, but they need to hear, no, you're talking too much. And that was the best feedback I've ever gotten, because sometimes I feel like I just have to fix my client, and that is not what they need. Right.
Right.
So reflective listening is one of the most important tools that you have as a coach in your back pocket, and empathetic listening. And that's something that I hate to do this, but I pray every time. I'm a person of faith, and I just pray every time that I remember how I felt when I was 250 pounds. Right. I need to feel that, because if I don't feel that, I'm just going to be feeding my client information. If I feel it, I'm going to be feeding them an experience, and they need to experience that. So, yeah. So the SMART goals. This is one of our last tools that we're going to talk about. But without SMART goals, it's pretty much impossible to coach. So we're just going to take you through really quickly. You have those notes, correct, Darcy?
It's on the back.
Okay, because I saw the panic. You guys can't see Coach Darcy.
It's fine.
But we
You don't
can
need to see
see
me.
each other, and I saw panic in her eyes.
I forgot that I didn't do like the single printing, but it's on the
Hate
front
it when I
back.
do that.
I hate when I do that.
Hate it.
I got it.
Oh, all right. So SMART goals. And again, we do this without even knowing. Like there's some physicians who have SMART goals in there in writing, and sometimes I put them in writing, but we do this sometimes without even knowing what we're doing. But you have to. And this, if you think of an acronym with the word SMART, that's what we're doing. The first one is we have to be specific in our goals. I want to know how much weight a client wants to lose. I want to know a number. I want to know how I'm gonna want to know where they've been. What is your current weight? Where do you want to go? The goals have to be specific. I cannot give unclear goals. When we start out, I think of our intake clients, our intake meetings. When we put them into the detox, there is very specific details that they need for how to do that detox. So SMART goals has to be specific. Darcy, you want to take the second one?
Yeah. So also these goals have to be measurable. I mean, to give me an example, Monica.
Well, I think of the string. The string.
Yes. Yes.
When you let's say that you want to lose 50 pounds, and you can use the scale as a measurable tool. That's very easy. But you can also, we love the visual, the marble, the two marble jars when you put a marble over into the next jar when every pound you lose. Or my favorite is the string one where you measure your middle section, and you do that about every month. That string gets littler and littler and littler, and the inches are more it's a more real number than the scale. The scale is just a number of gravity that particular time. So measurable, you've got to be able to say, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, how am I going to measure that? I'm going to measure it with the string, or I'm going to measure it with, marbles or whatever creative tool that you have, to measure it.
Yeah, that's why we also encourage our clients to definitely take a before picture.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We just had this exercise recently, and it's just mind blowing how having the before picture and then the during, because it's not after, you're still going. So
because we'll have clients say, Monica, I've been working so hard, I can't. I don't, the scale is not doing things, but my clothes are fitting different. So we're like, all right, it's time for a picture.
Yeah.
You can watch your body more. That is measurable.
Yeah. It's kind of like standing too close to a painting when you can't see the entire picture. Like as you are working super hard, you are standing way too close to the picture. It's until you back up to be able to see all these examples that we are talking about, the string method, the picture method. That's when you can actually step outside and see, look, step back and see what you've actually done.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So true. The A is achievable. They got to be achievable. Give me something, Darcy, that's not achievable. That you've had a client come to you and say, "I'm going to do this," and you're like, not achievable."
Well, we're gonna get in a swimsuit by next month because I'm going on a vacation, and I want to look hot, but I know I have like a couple 100 pounds to lose. But I want, we talked about weddings. People, mamas want to look good on their daughter's or their son's wedding day. So they want to, look presentable for other people. It's not even for themselves. It's for other people that they don't want to be embarrassed, or I don't know.
Yeah.
You fill in the blank.
Or I'm just not going to eat anything.
Oh,
I'm going to eat only veggies for the next 3 years. No, that's not achievable, right?
Right. So what is achievable?
Achievable is I can commit to you that I can track my macros every day this week. I can do that.
So you're doing like the thing called 1%, right?
1%. Yes.
Right?
1% is achievable. 100% is not.
Yeah.
If I look out in my room outside my office door right now, I have been coaching all week, and so my house has gone to pot right now. If I said I'm going to go wave my arm and everything's going to be fixed in 5 minutes, it's not going to happen. But I sure can. I'm looking at a laundry basket right outside my French doors right now. I can go put that laundry basket away.
Right.
All right.
Yep. So the next one would be realistic, and I think it ties a little bit into
Mhm.
into what we just talked about. So what are some examples of making something realistic?
I will shoot down a client any day of the week that comes to me and says, I'm going to work out 5 days a week.
What?
Mm-mm. Nope. Oh, well, they do that all the time.
Oh yeah.
I can work out 5 days a week. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, but you probably could. There are some times that I have had a client who said that, and I'm like, do you have a treadmill at your house? Yeah, it's holding a lot of clothes right now. I said, then what I want you to do is I want you to go take the clothes off of it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even get on it. And then some days I'll say, all right, now I want you to just go stand on it for a couple seconds. I just want you to get to know it. Go feel it up a little bit, you know?
Right.
And that is realistic. 5 days a week is not realistic. Do you have
Right.
any realistic goals that you give or unrealistic?
Realistic is just focusing on here and now. The little by little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said it before, like that 1%. I love the Atomic Habits by James
Mm-hmm.
Clear because he puts that into perspective.
Yeah.
Because we want to, just like you said, we want to magically wave our wand and
Right.
everything just be perfect in the way it is, but it's not.
No.
And once you come to the realization of, it took, I love what some of our clients come to the conclusion of, it took me this many years to get
Mm-hmm.
where I am,
Yeah.
but now I have to expect that it could possibly take this many years to
Yeah.
get healthy again.
Exactly.
So that rush is no longer
Mm-hmm.
needed,
Mm-hmm.
which leads us into
Bleeds
the
right
next
over.
one right there. So that would be the time frame that it
Yeah.
takes. So the time frame that it takes to achieve a goal. What does that
Mm-hmm.
look like, Monica?
Well, I do 10 pounds at a time. So um, I say if you have over 50 pounds to lose, you mark out a year of your life. A year. If you have 100 pounds to lose, mark out a year and a half. So already on the top of that, know that. So if you know that that's your big time frame, right? You can micro that down to 10 pounds at a time.
Yeah.
So I have several goals. I have several time markers when I look at a client's weight. Wonderland is a massive, massive celebration. So, and same with 299. So, any of the 99s is a massive celebration. So, if I've got a client coming to me with a weight of 325 pounds, 25 pounds is our goal. And we're going to massively celebrate at 299. Then we go absolutely lose our flipping minds when we hit Wonderland, 199, right? So, there's big celebrations, but to get that client to those big celebrations, we go 10 pounds at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So we go 40s, 30s, wow, we've got 10 pounds before we hit Wonderland. So we micro time frame those things from the big frame of a year and a half down to 10 pounds at a time.
Right. You know what I also you need to mark out is the time where the scale doesn't move. That's really important. Yes, you said a year. Now I think that needs to be included in that year of expecting that there is that time where the scale doesn't move. Your body's adapting. Your body is, basically kind of catching up on all the weight that has been lost. But I think
Yeah.
I think you can use that space of. I don't want to necessarily call it a plateau, but I'll use the plateau.
Yeah.
I want you to use
That's real.
that space and that plateau of the time where you start to also work on the mental side of things. You can, not necessarily stay put and be, woe is me, the scale's not moving, I'm so depressed, I feel like a failure. Take that time that that, well, maybe it's just my body is catching up, and let's start to journal some things. That's what this coach would say, like, hey, maybe it's time to journal some things to get that out of your head. But that is
Yeah.
the time frame of it all.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
So
That is the smart goals what we have.
specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time framed. You have to have those. Now, we're going to end the show a little bit differently today. So, Darce, I want you to get ready to go through an activity, and everybody else can do this with us. Hopefully this works over podcasts. Usually we do this and there's videos and all of that. But you're going to need 3 materials. You're going to need 1 pen, you're going to need 1 pencil, and 10 sheets of lined paper. Okay? Or as many as you need. We're only going to use 1. Okay, because we only have a little bit of time left in the show. So you're going to need a pen, a pencil, and lined paper.
Yep.
Okay. So here is what we do with this paper. Okay. We're going to start by picking up your pencil. Okay. So you're going to take your piece of paper out. You're going to pick up your pencil and you're going to write down a lie that your inner critic tells you about yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing this with you, Darce.
Okay.
Okay. So with your
We're
pencil,
doing
you're
one?
writing just one. Yeah, we're just
Just
going to
one. Okay.
just do one. They say 10 because we have multiple lies we tell us, tell ourselves, but we're going to just do one. So you're writing the lie down with a pencil. Then I want you to skip 4 lines. Okay. That's the line paper. You're going to skip 4 lines.
Okay.
And then staying inside that category. Actually, we're just doing this once. So basically, if you're doing this on your own, you're going to skip 4 lines and then you're going to write another lie. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So minus, you're ugly. Okay. And then I'm going to skip 4 lines and I'm going to write another one. You're not good enough. Whatever it is for you. Okay.
Yes.
Under the same category. Okay. Once you've exhausted the beliefs in that category, then you can also move. That's where your other sheets of paper, but we're just doing one. So for example, I'll never get married. Okay. I'm just pulling that one out of the sky.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. Done did it. Step 2 is when you pull your pen out. Okay. Put away your pencil. You've written the lie down and you take out your pen. On the line under each lie, you're going to write the truth. So you write the reverse of what that lie is. The truth could be the opposite of your lie, or it could simply be something nicer, right? We are so mean to ourselves sometimes.
We are.
Reach for the highest level, a self-affirming belief that you can find, okay? So make sure that is written in pen. So write that in pen. Example, if your lie was I'm stupid, your truth words would be no, I'm not stupid, or I'm an intelligent person. I am smart.
Yes.
Like that one movie, right? But
Yes.
you write the truths in pen, okay? So here's what you do for the next 7 days. You read the lines, you read the lies and truths to yourself for every day for 7 days. So you'll read that lie, and then you'll read the truths, okay, to yourself for 7 days. On the 7th day, are you ready, Coach?
Yes.
On that 7th day, you take your eraser and you erase that top line. You erase the lies. What happened in that? All you can see are the truths. By 7 days, you have transformed your mind to say, you know what? No time for those lies anymore. Mm-hmm. We spend a lot of our sessions with our clients doing this very thing, not even necessarily with a pencil and a pen, but we have to reframe their mindset to think before they can even lose weight. We have to reverse the lies of their past. What are the things that you get out of that activity? You did it one time with our group, and it was so dang powerful.
Yeah. So that whole thing is this. The symbol of using the pen is now it's permanent.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go back on it. It's more of like, it's like when you expect other people to hold the truth and be honest with you and keep their promises. You expect that from them, but we are so easily able to lie to ourselves, to put our thoughts or our own desires in the back burner and be like, oh, don't worry about it. I can, not do that right now. I can focus on you. So it's so easy to turn around and do that. But the ink, it's kind of like a tattoo, is permanent,
It's there.
And it's there. The next thing is that you are using power words. And you are basically almost like you're lying to yourself about the lie, and you're saying those over and over and over again. But then as you say the truth over and over and over again, you begin to believe that. You begin to tell your neural pathways that, oh, I am strong. I am, amazing, or I can do this. You're using those power words of I am, I will, I'm going to be, and you're going to start to believe that about yourself.
Yeah. The power of affirmations is just absolutely, people say, oh, that's just silliness. It is absolutely a make or break. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a make or break with the clients. If they believe they can't, they're right. They can't. When they
Yeah.
believe they can do anything they want. And they don't even let the setbacks hold them back because they're like, oh, I didn't lose a pound today, but I'm going to lose 2 next week, you know? So the link between life coaching and health coaching is so similar. And in fact, for my new coaches, I'm almost making it almost mandatory for them to have some life coaching skills, because you can have nutritional coaching just fine, but until you implement the life coaching, you don't get the success or the long-term success that you want, because we've got to change the pattern. We've got to change the power of the mind and what the grip that has had on our clients for so long. So
Yeah.
great show today, Darcy. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this one. This was once I figured out what life coaching was and that I was actually certified, and
And we do this every day.
we do it
And
every day.
yes.
Yes. Yes. It was a great show topic. If you have any questions for us, or if you are struggling and you're like, I need their coaching, I'm not doing very well on my own, please make it a priority to contact us. And because we had such an intense show, we're going to close out the show just a little bit differently so that you know where you can find us. We are going to be in the show notes. All of our Facebook, our links, our emails, everything is in the show notes. And so you'll be able to find those very easily. But because it was such an intense show, we didn't take a break, but we want to give you the tools where you can find our free coaching services. So Darcy, do you have any closing words before we go?
What I would say is, when you do this, you've got to have your enough moment. You've got to be able to say, I need this change, and I'm going to do this change, and I'm going to heal my body, mind, and spirit. So, got to have that enough moment.
You got to own your moment.
Yeah.
Own your moment. Guys, if you have any questions for us, please reach out to us through email. Find us on our Facebook pages, and we will see you next Tuesday. Hey, it's Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We cannot wait to see you over there.